Okay, Amos, I come to you, and this is, I'm sure you have your points, but this is also a question. One of our viewers is asking, do schools solely depend on capitation? If so, what do they do with the school fees parents pay, which for some institutions goes to more than upwards of 50,000 Kenya shillings?
72.
And parents are even harassed to pay on time.
Thank you. I do not want to preempt my PhD study because it's still ongoing, yes. And that's part of what it's looking at. But generally, we could classify sources of funds, 4 sources of funds for schools. There will be grants from government. There will be what you call some corporate flows. Then there will be what you call official development assistance, which is now donor funds and any kind of support that they receive. And the last one is what you call own institutional funds, that schools are also in a position to generate certain resources, but there are certain conditions that are supposed to be put in place. But there is, and that's why you heard me say that there is talking from both sides of the mouth, where heads want to emphasize more on the issue of the capitation, but they also do not want also to account for what they are collecting from the parents. Yes. And that's where we have the issue. So, and actually one of my friends here, Robert Momanyi, just sent me a question here and asked me, just allow me to read it. He says, now that schools are sending away children because government has not brought the 10%, when government brings the 10%, will they refund to the parents? Of course, the answer is no. So you cannot send away children home to collect fees from parents because government has not sent the remittance. At least if you are joining carrying placards, it will be a bit different. But sending away children because government has not brought money is a little bit problematic. I want to mention this, Mheshimiwa Nabii. I know you've labeled yourself controversial, but I want to invite you into controversy and ask you, and Mheshimiwa Meli, if you are really committed to solving the problem that is called the black box called education in this country, what Feroz Norji literally called the Bermuda Triangle, where ships were going in, but nobody knew what was happening in. Education in this country is chaotic. And I can tell you for a fact, no one is in charge of education in this country. Everybody is just doing their own things. And I want to start by, because I have been an activist for many years. This Mheshimiwa Meli, we've sat with him in hotels talking when we are civil society organizations. And I'm happy that now Mheshimiwa Nabii has partly also taken over from being also a member of the activism. Until now, I started looking at things from the other side. Mheshimiwa Meli, I want to give you a small assignment. You are good at assignments. I want you to look at how the healthcare system is designed and operated in this country and see the stark difference between that with education. And let me bring this discussion closer. Today, a gynecologist serving Nairobi Hospital is the same gynecologist serving Aga Khan Hospital. Is the same gynecologist serving MP-SHA, number one. Number two, assume that every hospital decided that every nurse becomes a doctor. What will this country be? The whole point is that our financing, particularly around human resources in education, is unsustainable. It is not going to work, and it has not worked. This is the time for us to rethink and pick a few clues from sectors such as health. And this is a conversation that we can even have outside this one, because it's the question of relooking at the fundamentals of our education, what you call foundations. And there are 4 foundations of our education: the philosophical, the sociological, the historical, and the comparative. And everything around these fundamentals has gone exceptionally wrong. This is the time for us to have this sober conversation. And I'm so glad that Parliament has a very, very progressive education committee. And actually some of us who had stepped back are actually willing to engage with you people on how we can take our education forward. We cannot keep on talking about add. As I said last time when I was here, Kenya does not mine money. We try to mine some little oil in Turkana. We don't know where it is. We are not going to have 1.5 trillion to invest in education. It is unnecessary. Our architecture of providing education is flawed. This is the time to have this conversation, and it is possible. And I'll not make any other comment.